Trump went down to the border. And by the way, considering there's supposed to be a drought, and considering we're having record heat problems, whatever, that's a pretty green section of the border. I'm just saying. That's a lot of greenery. What is happening? Okay, so, well, he's in McAllen, Texas, as you can, if you can see. Hold on. There you go. And these are his remarks. They're very short, so we'll just do these, and hopefully our video will hold up a little bit. And then maybe it seems to be working right now. Maybe fingers crossed. Perhaps. We'll see. Okay, here we go. Let's try and get through this. This is Trump down at the border to finish off today's show. Trump thanks his favorite House members for joining him at the border in McAllen, Texas. This is the name of the video, and this is Newsmax.
And I just want to thank everybody. The election
just go ahead.
Was incredible. What we did in this election was incredible.
I agree. It was incredible. The loss was overwhelming and amazing.
And it's a shame what happened because, we're talking about something that we shouldn't even be talking about right now.
Well said. This is, he hasn't lost a step, you know what I mean? Every phrase just rolls trippingly off the tongue.
We shouldn't even talking. But when you think about it,
we shouldn't even talking. I agree.
That we shouldn't even be talking about right now. We shouldn't even talking. But we
shouldn't even talking.
Think about it. We did so well that it wasn't an issue. We did well in the election for other reasons because we rebuilt our military and we came up with a vaccine in 9 months that everybody said couldn't be done in 3 or 4 or 5 years.
Which, by the way, his supporters are the ones holding out and waiting 3 or 4 or 5 years to get it.
And so many other things. And I also want to thank, because I see him, Jim Banks is here, the study group. Where's Jim? Jim, where are you, Jim? And he's another guy that...
He's another beauty.
I'll tell you, he's called Strong Silent. Not all of our congressmen...
Is that what he's called? Is that his Indian name? He's called Strong Silent. He's the strong and silent type? Is that what you're trying to say? What? Thanks, Robert. Oh, God.
Strong and silent, and certainly...
What? Wait.
He's another guy that...
He is another guy. It is true. If I'm a guy, or Trump is a guy, then he's another guy.
He's called Strong Silent. Not all of our congressmen are strong and silent, and certainly our congresswomen aren't strong and silent. That we know for sure, right, Laura?
What? Our congressmen are what?
Strong and silent, and certainly our congresswomen aren't strong and silent. That we know for sure, right, Lauren? So, Jim, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Huh? You what now?
Great job you're doing, too. I want to thank you. And Jim Jordan, what a great job Jim Jordan has been doing, too. He's an activist, but he's an activist for good. So some of the...
He's what? I swear to God, he's just turning into Jiminy Glick right before our eyes.
The names, we have Jody Arrington, thank you. Good, thank you, Jody. Doing great. Brian Babin, I loved watching you on television yesterday, Brian, wherever you may be. You did a great job yesterday on television. I watched that. August.
Really? You have time to watch television now? Your ghost presidency doesn't?
Pfluger, where's...
No, Alicia, yeah. The congresswomen are not strong and not silent, I guess, is the idea. That they talk too much and they are weak. He means it as a compliment. What the hell?
August, great job. Fantastic. And my doctor, Ronnie Jackson. He came to me, he said, sir, I'm thinking about running for Congress. Where? Texas. Well, Texas, you got a shot, I'll tell you. And what do you have, 24 people in the race? And we endorsed him, and I said, just get him into a runoff. He got into a runoff with, I'm sure he was a very...
That's what you said. That's what he said. I'm going to endorse you, but just to get you into a runoff.
Nice man, but I didn't like him because he wasn't for my Ronnie. And I don't know if he's a better doctor or a congressman. He actually said I was the healthiest president in history by far. And he said, jokingly, of course, they take it. He said if he would stop eating fast food, he'd live for 200 years. And they really went after him on that one, didn't they? But Ronnie is great, and he's doing a
Yeah, they really went after him for over-prescribing sedatives
incredible
on international trips.
job already in Congress, and it's great to see
Dr.
you out
Penny
here. And I'm
Boom
proud of you,
Butts.
really. I mean, you know, you had like 22 people. I think it's the most Trump district in the United States, somebody said.
It's the most Trump district in the United States, and the guy you endorsed ended up in a runoff. That's political power.
So, Ronnie, hopefully you're not going to be running for anything else for a while, because you're going to be there for a long time. You're going to be there for a long time, and I know how good you're doing. So people are so happy. Andy Barr, where's Andy? Andy Barr. What a great guy. Hi, Andy.
Hi.
Lauren Boebert. Nobody going to walk into your house, that I promise you.
Nobody's going to walk in your house because she will shoot them, is what he's trying to say, that she's always armed and therefore no one's going to walk into her house because she will kill them for walking into her house.
You know, the guns will be blazing, right? But you have
Yeah, if your kid comes home late and didn't call first, you know.
been fantastic right from the beginning, right from the beginning. Thank you, Lauren, for being here.
Thanks, Lauren. Yeah, thanks. And by the way, anybody who sets foot in your house, you know, if they don't answer your call, like, who's that? If they don't say anything, just open fire.
Michael Burgess. Michael, thank you. Buddy Carter. Buddy, thank you, buddy. Great job you're doing, buddy. Really good. A man that I think has got the best face in the business. He's a terrific guy, and he's a friend of mine, and he comes from an incredible state where they were very nice to me, right? We won, and there was no question about it. Madison Cawthorn. Madison, thank you. Best. And youngest, I think, you know, I'm not going to get into the little tricks. They say, well, in 1867, there was somebody, forget that stuff. It was like a temporary. He's the youngest congressperson ever in history of Congress. So are you still 25 or? You're still 25. Wow. So he was a young 25 when he got it. That's something. Billy Long. Does everyone know Billy? Huh?
Sure, everybody knows Billy.
Does everyone know Billy? I could have you do your thing. Do you want to do it? Do you want to say a couple of words? Go ahead. Let's auction off. Not the governorship, not the presidency. How about
Jesus Christ.
auctioning off the
Thanks,
rest of
Francie.
the wall that should have been built? Go ahead, Billy.
He was going to leave.
Great job, Billy. Great job.
Yeah, it was so good. It was nice. He's apparently an auctioneer.
We appreciate you being here. Michael Cloud. Michael, great job this morning. Great job. Thank you, Michael. Pat Fallon. Pat. Way to go, Pat. You've been right there from the beginning. A man who's quiet, but very special to me.
Unlike the
He's
women.
tough as hell. He'll come, sir, I don't like the way they're treating you here or there, and you got the wrong guy in this job, and he's usually right about that. Louis Gohmert, thank you, Louis. You've been a real
A real what?
friend of mine, Louis.
Yeah, he's been a real tooth chipper.
You've been a real friend of mine and a great friend to Texas. You love this place, huh? You love it. They love you, too. Bob Good. Bob. Thank you, Bob. Fantastic,
Bob Good.
Yvette Harrell. Thank you, Yvette. Thank you. Thank you, Yvette. Clay Higgins. Thanks, Clay. Thank you, Clay. Darrell Issa. There's a guy who's tough as hell, I'll tell you. Man, oh, man, he went into that district, but really great job.
What, San Diego?
Darrell, and he's our friend and for a long time. Chris Jacobs. Chris, upstate New York.
By the way, hold on one second, if I may. Here's just in case you're wondering why Darrell Issa is there as far as Trump is concerned. Trump on par with Lincoln, Reagan, with value added to the Republican Party.
New York. Thank you, Chris.
Oh God.
Mike Johnson. What a job. They don't even mind having you in Texas, Mike. What a great guy. What a good politician, because you love it and you love the people. And you really are. You're a natural. Thank you very much. I appreciate you being here, Mike.
He, by the way, has, yes, you're not imagining it, there is a bug in his hair. That is Mike Pence's fly also came down to the border.
Michael Martin.
It is crawling around in his mop right now. There it is.
Michael, thank
See
you.
that?
Thank you, Michael. Lisa McLean.
It is dug in there, and it is not moving.
Good. Thank you, Lisa.
It is
Thank
going.
you, sweetheart.
It's.
Mary Miller. That was a great job you did, huh? That worked out
Is it a deer tick? What is happening? Thanks, Robin.
pretty well, didn't it, huh? Great, Mary. A man that was winning by so much, and he had an election, and everybody thought he'd win by like 30, 40 points, and it was nip and tuck at the end, because
Nip and tuck.
everybody thought he was going to win, right, Ralph? Ralph Norman. Everybody thought he was going to win by so much, and boy, that was a scary deal. So it tells you, don't be so popular, Ralph, okay?
What?
You got to always, that was we'll never forget that evening. Right? We said, what the hell happened?
I'm sorry. Does anyone know what the hell he is talking about? Anybody? Anybody know what this? Did anybody? I didn't make any. I couldn't make heads or tails of that.
But he's been, and since then, it's just blowouts, all the time blowouts, and they love you. They love
Thanks,
you in
Bill.
your state. Thank you very much, Ralph. Lisa Reynolds.
Nice.
Lisa, thank you very much. She's done an incredible job with the staff. John Rose. John, congratulations, by the way. Great job. Chip Roy. Where's Chip? Hi, Chip. How are you, Chip?
Is this? Is he literally naming everyone that's there?
Talk to you later, Chip. Pete Sessions. Pete, thank you, Pete. Thanks, Pete. Greg Stubbe, another one who's been a tremendous guy. Where's Greg? He has been fantastic.
Better than Pete, anyways.
Tom Tiffany. We had our special election. Remember that, Tom? I went on and did one of those calls where we had like 25,000 people in the call. Where is Tom?
Yeah, he means his tele rallies. No one listened.
Hey, Tom. We did pretty well with that call that night, right?
No.
We did well. We had 25,000 people in a call. They call it a teleconference telecall. Okay.
I'm sorry. Okay. Tele-rally is it, remember when he had, so, okay, hold on. Trump, they like, Trump's company, yeah. So Trump's company applied for the trademark to tele-rally. Then Trump held a tele-rally. That's what these are called. Yeah. So, all right. He can't remember the name of the tele-rally. Okay, hold on.
Okay, straight 25,000 people in a call. They call it a teleconference telecall. We did well. We had 25,000 people in a call. They call it a teleconference telecall. Okay, strange name, but very effective. Pretty well with that call that night, right?
Oh my
We did
God.
well. We had 25,000 people in a call. They call it a teleconference telecall. Okay, strange name, but very effective. And he won that morning. He woke up. He said, guess what? We're winning this thing, and you won it big, and now they love you. They really love you. Thank you, Tom. That was a lot of fun.
They call it a teleconference telecall. Oh, God.
Randy Weber.
They called it a teleconference telecall.
Randy is terrific. Randy, thank you, Randy. Great job. Roger Williams, I'll tell you, he's a hero. He can take shots to the leg or the body. It doesn't matter. He's still out there kicking, and he's still a handsome guy. That was some ordeal we all went through, wasn't it, huh?
We all?
With Steve and everybody. It was incredible.
Oh, you were there? I'm sorry.
And
wow. By the way, I was laughing so hard at telecall that I missed when the bug left. Or did it burrow in there and it's just staying?
Lauren Ziegler. Lauren, thank you. Thank you, Lauren. Thank you, Lauren. Thank you very much. So we have others, but I think what we're going to do, see those reflexes? They're pretty good. I think what we're going to do is talk just for a couple of seconds about how well we did.
Yeah, do that. Now that you've introduced everybody and they can't leave.
Nobody's ever done what we've done. And
oh, my God. I can't. Here we go.
when I say we, all of the sheriffs who I love, who I hear, many of whom are friends of mine, they're incredible. They worked with Ken and they worked with Dan and the governor and myself, and the job they've done is unparalleled. There's never been anything like it.
Well, you're actually standing parallel to the wall, so I'm just saying. I mean, there's a big hole in it. I don't know if did it occur to you? All right.
One of the folks, before we had a meeting, we had a round table. And
they call it a round meeting table.
They were talking about...
It's a strange name, but very effective.
Fentanyl, it was virtually not coming in to the area. It wasn't coming through the border at all. We had the border...
No, it was always coming in through the ports from China.
So close, the best ever. And now it's coming through at levels that they've never seen before, just pouring in. Because, you know, we're not only talking about people. Millions of people are coming in. But we're talking about drugs. We're talking about human trafficking, the human trafficking. And by the way, mostly women. I hate to say, not children.
You hate to say it, but you say it every time.
Not men, mostly women.
So not children and not men, not women children, not women folk. At least they're not strong and silent.
The human traffickers, we had them down to a halt, and now they're going at a level that they've never even thought imaginable. We had it close to stop. Now, this is a worldwide problem. It's all over the world. But we had them, this part of the world, it comes through the southern border, human trafficking, and it's a terrible thing. Nobody.
One moment, if I may. A seaport never sleeps. Cargo shipping is vital for keeping supply chains moving and the country fed and well supplied during the current pandemic. Port employees have continued working throughout the pandemic. They've not shut down like so many industries have. Another industry that has never shut down is human trafficking. In fact, as much of the world has turned its attention to the COVID-19 pandemic, the crime of human trafficking has been able to flourish. Although it is quietly hidden, human trafficking thrives during times of chaos and vulnerability. The maritime community can benefit from an improved understanding of human trafficking and learning how to. Victims of human trafficking include children, women, and men who are subject to sexual exploitation or forced labor through the use of force, fraud, or coercion. At seaports, in particular, traffickers can take advantage of discrepancies in maritime law in order to exploit their victims, making a tremendous profit. It is easier for traffickers to operate at sea. Especially in the COVID-19 era, crew members can be forced to work long hours, manipulated into extending their contracts, be paid less than they agreed to work, and see their wages withheld entirely. It's not just labor trafficking that seaports need to watch for. Sex trafficking can happen at ports as well. Survivors of human trafficking report that sailors can be sex buyers. In those instances, the sex buying can happen at port facilities or onboard docked ships. The U.S. Department of Justice Human Trafficking Task Force reports that 83% of U.S. trafficking victims are U.S. citizens, and that the average victim is first exploited for commercial sex is between 12 and 14 years old. Preventing labor and sex, by the way, this is 83% of U.S. sex trafficking victims are U.S. citizens. 83%. Preventing labor and sex trafficking is becoming more of a priority for the Department of Transportation, the Department of Homeland Security. This year, the DOT launched a new national pledge program against human trafficking. So far, more than 200 groups, including airports, transportation authorities, and seaports, have joined the DOT's pledge. And in January 2020, DHS released a new report outlining their commitment to end human trafficking. This report summarized their priorities for the next 5 years, including plans for prevention, protection, and partnership, which includes key security checkpoints. Seaports are a critical checkpoint for stopping human trafficking. But again, tell us how it's all the southern border.
No lower form of life than people that do that, and they make a lot of money. They make more money than the drug dealers, they say. And we stopped that.
Than drugs. I mean, in the U.S., including children, people are sold in quantities second only to illegal drugs. I'm just, why do you just have to exaggerate everything at the time? Because I'm sure if he was talking about drugs, he would say they make more money than anybody.
Them and the drug dealers, we did a job like nobody thought was possible, and we made deals with.
Oh, the Trump organ got indicted? Oh boy, hold on. Breaking news. Is that what's happening? New York grand jury returns criminal indictments again. Oh boy. Breaking news. I need some news music. Do I have news music? No, that's not that. Nope, that's not news either. Nope. Definitely not. I need a news. I'll use my theme. Ladies and gentlemen, breaking news. Thank you for joining us right now. It's the Hal Sparks live stream, and we have breaking news. New York grand jury returns criminal indictments against Trump's company and its CFO, the first from prosecutors probing the former president's business dealings. This the why? Yes, I can't play YMCA. I'll get a hit. Grand jury in Manhattan filed criminal indictments Wednesday against former President Donald Trump's company and its longtime chief financial officer, according to two people familiar with the indictments. The indictments against the Trump Organization and its CFO, Alan Weisselberg, will remain sealed until Thursday afternoon. So that tomorrow afternoon, so that Rachel Maddow has to wait till Friday to fully read them as a play. Leaving the specific charges against them unclear, earlier Wednesday, people familiar with the case said the charges were related to allegations of unpaid taxes on benefits for Trump Organization executives. You think that's the Ivanka double dipping and Weisselberg's kids who were living in an apartment provided by Trump? Weisselberg expected to surrender Thursday morning at the office of Manhattan District Attorney Cyrus Vance. Two people familiar with the plan said he is expected to be arraigned later in the day in front of a state court judge. The Trump Organization will also be arraigned, represented in court by one of its attorneys. So the whole company. The criminal charges against the Trump Organization and Weisselberg are the first result from the investigations by Vance and New York Attorney General Letitia James, and represent a dramatic turn in the long-running probes. Attorneys for both the Trump Organization and Weisselberg declined to comment Wednesday. People for Vance and James who teamed up to investigate Trump's... spokespeople for Vance and James who teamed up to investigate Trump's business dealings this year after years of working on separate tracks also declined to comment. Vance did not respond to a question from a reporter as he left his office Wednesday afternoon. The people familiar with the indictment spoke on condition of anonymity to disclose private actions. Trump himself is not expected to be charged this week, the people said, and no others in his orbit are expected to face imminent charges. Yeah. But the indictments could mark a significant escalation in his legal problems, both by exposing his company to potential fines and by raising the pressure on Weisselberg. Prosecutors hope Weisselberg will offer testimony against Trump in exchange for lessening his own risk, according to another person familiar with the case. Weisselberg, who has worked for Trump since the 1980s, is considered the most important figure in the Trump Organization who is not related to Trump. He has been involved in even minor financial transactions, including coordinating Trump's personal gifts to charity. The Washington Post has previously reported that Weisselberg was a key figure in the investigations by Vance and James. Both are trying to determine whether Trump broke the law by misleading lenders or taxing authorities. Woohoo! So, yeah. And here's the whole. Let me grab this. Drag this over. In recent months, both sets of investigators have spoken to Jennifer Weisselberg, the CFO's former daughter-in-law, who said that Weisselberg's son Barry had been given a free apartment and a hefty salary while he worked at the Trump Organization's Central Park ice rink. By the way, let's see. This is. Let's see if we. Oh yeah, let me get back up here. Hold on. See if I can find. It all jumped ahead because of what this was happening. Hold on. Ramp. The RICO statutes. Here it is. So this is Jennifer Weisselberg talking on MSNBC as to, and this was yesterday, what the reason why Weisselberg is holding out.
Understanding you correctly, Ms. Weisselberg, do you believe that Alan Weisselberg is not cooperating because he's trying to protect his family, his sons, as well as former President Donald Trump?
Not exactly. I think that they're already in trouble. I think that he's not cooperating. I think when somebody doesn't cooperate, it's because the other person might just have a lot of leverage on you. And that is a reason why you are afraid to flip.
Who do you think has leverage on him, and what do you think that leverage entails?
I think it's Donald.
What is the leverage?
Issues with the Presidential Inaugural Committee.
Can you tell us anything more about that?
I mean, it seems like it bleeds into the Trump organization, and there were some things going on after Donald was already president, where they were capitalizing on making money for themselves. And it looks like in depositions that Alan Weisselberg was involved along with the CFO in the White House to orchestrate that money. And one of the organizations that stole the money looks like it was the Trump org. And, you know, I just have to tell the truth.
Do you believe?
Yeah. So basically, they again. Can we just? This guy's supposed to be a billionaire, right? Yes. The idea is that Alan Weisselberg and them stole money from the inaugural committee funds, the $100 million that disappeared, for themselves. This guy's supposed to be a billionaire. If honest to God, if I had a net worth of $6 to $8 billion, and I could literally destroy all of it over $100 million, what kind of an idiot would do that? Right? I mean, between us, we know he's broke as shit, and he's literally just bleeding every dime he could possibly get. But let's operate on the premise that were he an actual billionaire, would you, if you had $8 billion as a net worth, would you feel the need to steal like $25 million from your own inaugural fund? For what? For what? Yeah. Neil Dung, definitely.
Mexico, and we made deals with Honduras and Guatemala and El Salvador. And I told the story just before. I don't want to bore you with it, but most of you
you are too late.
Weren't around that round table. And by the way, Brandon, I see my Brandon. How good is Brandon, Border Patrol? And
that's not his name, but
Mark,
okay.
Thank you very much. And Tom, there's Tom Homan. He's central casting. If I'm doing a movie and I want to get a tough guy to play something, I'm going to pick Tom Homan. I said, you guys better be there, and your whole group. Thank you all for being here. We appreciate it. Really fantastic. I mean, just a fantastic job.
Yeah, fantastic.
I say, all Biden had to do is go to the beach. If he would have just done nothing, we would have now the strongest border we've ever had. It was even getting better and better and better because it was all kicking in.
You mean COVID?
But I tell the story about, they couldn't bring MS-13 back into the various countries from which
that story
came. And I said, why is that? Well, sir, they don't take them. They didn't take them under the Obama administration, sir.
Oh, God. find this. 2018. Trump blames Obama for MS-13's growth, but the gang's roots are older. Trump tweeted that Obama's weak illegal immigration policies allowed the gang to make inroads, although it was first formed about 4 decades ago. I mean, all right. Well, look, we've been through that before. I don't have the links up.
Sure,
I mean,
it's
so
don't
dull.
Take them. I'm sorry.
This is the whole they don't take them.
Say, do we pay them money? Because we're a sucker. We pay everybody all this money, like every nation. We pay money to China. You saw that with the Wuhan lab. We give money to the Wuhan lab. By the way, did you notice who stopped it? They don't like to say, I stopped it.
You mean the security funds? And that's very well why the bats and all that kind of stuff might have gotten out. Why somebody might have, because they didn't have security on the place, so somebody was selling the bats they were using to experiment on for meat in the wet market.
When I heard, and I must say, I stopped it rather innocently, Governor. I said, just let me ask you a question. We're giving money to China. It wasn't about virus at that time. I stopped it because I say, why the hell are we giving money to China? It was a very simple, but they started it. I heard we were giving money to China, and I stopped it. I said, they don't need our money. They're doing just fine. What I did give them is massive tariffs. That's what I did. They were paying us billions and billions of dollars. We saved our steel industry and everything else. But when you look at what's happened, and when you look at the job that we've done,
oh, God.
And when you look at the results that we have had, and
especially in the election,
all of the
the whole Cosby thing makes me mad as hell. Oh yeah, again, you know whose fault that is? You know whose fault that is? The Cosby thing, the DAs that charged him. Well, I would argue actually the DA that gave him the break on the civil suit. That by admitting to the civil suit and trying to get money to the accusers, he said, I won't charge you. And then another DA came in and said, no, screw that, I'm charging him. And because he gave up his Fifth Amendment rights and he admitted to stuff in the civil case, then it violated his rights on the criminal, and that's how it got vacated. It's not even surprising. It's just awful.
Statistics, no matter what you look at, it's the greatest job ever done in history. And I thought the governor's choice of this location, number one, it's a very active location, but you see the wall there, you see the wall here, and they have to get a paint job on the wall. It doesn't sound very elegant, right?
What?
The wall is a steel wall with very powerful concrete, 5,000-pound concrete in each bollard. And then in that you have rebar, very powerful rebar. It's
kind of necessary for concrete.
Very, very hard to cut, very hard to do anything about. And we have to get that painted now. They have to paint it, because if they don't paint it,
yeah, if you don't paint the wall, I mean rebar, 5,000 pounds of concrete and steel. But if it doesn't have paint on it, you can cut it with like butter.
Bad things are happening. I'm looking, and it has to be painted. And the best color to paint it is black, because if you paint it black, it's so hot, nobody can even try to climb it. Not that they're successful anyway. Those are anti-climb panels on top.
They're anti-climb panels on. Jesus.
This week, we learned that for months,
Hold
smugglers
on.
have been using cordless power.
Hold on. Let's see if they can find this. Let me see if I can find this. I don't want a Samantha Bee thing. Yeah, this will do it. Hold on. Whoops.
Some new video that we just got into our newsroom showing a man breaching a new section of the border fence down by San Diego. He climbed up a rope ladder on the Mexico side while two
Darrell Ice's district.
men held on to it, and then he just slid down on the U.S. side like he was on a fire pole. The Washington Post is reporting that it's the first documented case of someone getting past that 18-foot high fence, which replaced the much shorter one. President Trump recently approved that new fence, by the way, spending $150 million for 14 miles of it.
Okay, so just to Anti-climb, just so you know.
Which I didn't want to do, but they said, sir, we need them, and they are great protection. It's the exact wall. We worked with the governor on this. It's the exact wall that Border Patrol, ICE, and all of the professionals wanted, the sheriffs. I said, I didn't want to give them any choice. Let's build it right and do it right. So what happened is all of these things came together. We produced the safest, best border we've ever had. And now, in a short period of time, it was over.
In a short period of time.
I was going to say that when they wouldn't take them back, they would put airplanes on their runways. When we had MS-13 in our planes to bring them back to Honduras, to bring them back to Guatemala, they had airplanes to bring them back to Honduras, to bring them back to Guatemala. They had these airplanes. They said, sir, they won't let us in. The buses, they turned around. They gave
buses
up. For years, they never brought them back. I said, how much money do we pay? $500 million. I said, oh, that's right. We're not paying anymore. Explain to them that they are delinquent in so many ways. We're not paying any money. I got calls from the three heads of the three countries, who I get along with very well.
Yeah, they're dumping rapists and murderers and stuff into the United States, according to him, but he gets along with them very well.
And they said, sir, you're
they're emptying their prisons and sending the people to America, but he gets along with them well.
Not paying us anymore. I said, that's right. They said, sir, we would love to have MS-13 back in our country. We think they're wonderful people. And we were bringing them in by the thousands, getting them out. And now they're
bringing them in, getting them out?
Sending them back, because what they're doing is opening their prisons, and prisoners, murderers, human traffickers, all of these people, drug dealers, are coming back into our country.
So let me get this right. So you're a murderer in Guatemala. Your gang runs the entire country. They let you out and you go, I think I'm going to make a run for the U.S. border because I got that fresh wall and kind of an open border policy. I'm just going to go for that. I mean, I could stay here and rule like a king in this area, but
they're coming in through the caravans, not everybody, but they're dotted all over the place. You remember the CNN reporter? What did you do? Murder. And she goes, what? Murder. And they immediately turned off the camera. Remember that?
Hey, I'm Rob.
No, I don't.
Finnerty, thanks for...
And they immediately turned off the camera. Hold on. And by the way, I don't know why they're cutting away at that part of it, but who cares?